Shalom, Yahweh Shalom, all my brothers, Yahweh Shalom, Lashawan. We start without one. Welcome to live right here in Syracuse, New York, upstate New York. It's Lashawan, Qadash, the Holy Tongue, of course. First thing that we're going to do, we're going to get into the alphabet that we're going to go over. In the meantime, as you can see on the left side of the board, we've got a few words, written up here on the board, of course, stuff. If you think that you know these, I'm saying, like your Hebrews, like this is written in the Assyrian. All right, this is the Assyrian. So what I would recommend, as we're going over, the alphabet, take this real quick, attempt to do the translation from the Assyrian over to the ancient, and then do the conversion over to the English, of course. See how well you do. Yeah, we're gonna get into this, of course. What each word is, what they mean, of course, though. And some of the stuff should be, you should recognize it. You should recognize it, as these are words that we have gone over. Some of the words we've gone over in the past. If you pay attention to the last class, one of the words we specifically went over, as it was pertaining to the Sabbath service and the scriptures that we was bringing up then, all right? So write these down. Write these words down, of course. Test yourself, test your knowledge, see what you come up with. If you're using a blue letter Bible, that'll help and assist. But give it a try yourself without doing anything. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to do these a little quick. All right. So you take a look at that. You have the ah, you have the ba, you have the ga, you have the da, the ha. All right. Ah, ba, ga, da, ha. This is the Assyrian. This is the ancient. This is the English. So ah, ba, ga, da, ha. And if you're watching, you pay attention, you're taking notes. As I said, write these words down. If you already done that, you would have picked up at least 3 letters or 3 characters, right? Because they're not letters, they're characters. You would have at least picked up 3 characters just off of these first 5. Actually, Slack, you would have picked up at least 4 characters off of these first 5. Like, I don't want you to think that this is cock. There you go. So, Abba, Gada, Ha. All right, looking at that again. So we have the wa, we have the za, we have the ka, we have the ta, we have the ya. All right. Once again, this is in the Assyrian. The wa, the ta, which is like a slanted T, right? It's not the same as the wa. So let's get the za, you know what I'm saying, separate from the wa. The ka, which is like a double T more or less, right? As we look at it, it's like a ladder. This has the hard ka. This is the hard ka, right? It's not a soft ka. It's the hard ka. To emphasize on this portion, we got the ta, and then we have the ya. Should have at least added one more for all the words that are on this left side. Out of these 5 characters, should have at least got one more to add. All right, we'll keep it going. In the meantime, as I'm putting these on the board, hopefully you're taking the time to translate, look it up yourself, and see what we got, all right? So we got the ka, we got the la, we got the ma, we got the na, we got the sa. All right. We're looking at this, of course, though. Let's make sure that we got the distinction between the ka and the na. Ka, which is rounded, versus the na, which is more of a rectangular, a square. It's like it. All right. I think that's a little better. So the ka, the la, the ma. Now there's the 2 different mas, of course, though. So this is used pretty much at any point. This is specifically for the end of a word. So that is pertaining to the Assyrian, the Maz at the end of a word, the ancient Hebrew, the English, the Na at the regular, then the Na, which is at the end of the word. Now that's very distinctive between the Na and the Ka, as there is a shorter extension on that. It's like I didn't put it up here. So think of the Ka, it's like the Ka like a extended Da, more or less. You kind of think like that. So the distinction, there's a short, I guess you could say, stem here, elongated stem here. You have the Sa. Alright. I don't think we added anything else to the board. Okay. So we have I, we have Pa, we have Tza. So there's the double, there's the additional ending for both Pa and Tza in regards to the Assyrian. And a very distinctive fact between the Assyrian for I and Tza is that the connectors, right? As you can see this come through, right? The connecting point versus the Tza. The Tza, it's like the Taza versus the I. they're distinctive and they're opposites. So if you were to like consider this to be a backward, you know what I'm saying, the connecting are on the opposite sides. At this point, you should know what's left, what else we have to cover. So do that quickly. All right. So of course, the last of the alphabet, these characters, which is Kwa, we got Ra, we got Sha, and we got Ta. All right. So now, let's look at the left side of the board. Left side of the board, you know, Abada. So all right. Abada. So this is what you should have. Abada. Or Abad. This is strong H6. like and bear with me for just a moment. So if we're looking at this, we can see parish 8-6 Bob. Right? Precept to that. Precept. Which is Deuteronomy 8:19. Alright. Read it, of course. It's Yahweh. Shabbat. Oh no. Shabbat. There it goes. Tayyab. Hamida. Or Abad. This is where we find it. It's a strong H. Strong H6. Hebrew. It is a verb, of course, which is to perish. We read that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 19. Right here. It shall surely perish. So it says, and it shall be if thou do, it's like it, and it shall be if thou do at all forget the Lord thy God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that he shall surely perish. So, we should definitely get it, you know what I'm saying, just right, and stop getting it wrong, of course, because what has been happening, of course, right? We have absolutely been perishing, of course, out here. Alright. I'm over at the school, so just see my way to school. Alright. Alright, that's what. It's like it. The bod or abada, but it drops to be a bod, right? Which is to perish. Right? To perish. So go ahead and cross that out. Perish. These are also most common Hebrew words as well too. Verbs, well not Hebrew words, but verbs. All right. Like unfortunately, let's see it a lot. We see some of these more than we care. And that's because of the foolishness, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of serving the Most High, instead of following after, our God, we serve and we turn to other gods, of course. And that's exactly what I'm saying with Deuteronomy 28. That's like it. Deuteronomy 8 and 20 or 19 was going over. The fact is that we serve other gods. We turn away from our king, our power, of course, stuff. And that's where we go wrong. That's where, that's where we're basically given over into other nations. All right? That's H157. Give y'all a second to try to translate that real quick. Again, that's H157. Lucky. I wrote that a little wrong. Alright. So ahab, which is very similar to the word that we just went over. We can also find this in the scriptures. Let's which means to love. All right, let me pull this up for y'all. If we were to grab out of the scriptures, Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 10. Pull this up. Share my screen. All right. So why sha'ah, Lamad, la payam, la hamaya, wala shama rawa, matata wa ma. All right. As we're reading this, of course, though, it just breaks down as saying, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love. There we go. Strong H57. If you missed it, there it goes. Right here. So when we read it in this, you know what I'm saying? You can see the la that is before it. And then we have the ba and ya at the end. So when we get this phrase here, the stem right here is aha. That's the stem. But as we remember going over the prepositions, right? Suffix. We have the la, we have the ba, and we have the ya. So when we put that all together, of course, though, of them that love. All right? When we transition to look at this, this was referencing Rami 5 and 10. All right. So you can use that right there as a preset. Go off. All right. That's a precept that we can go off in regards to strong H157, aha. Shana. Shana. That's strong H. 8130. All right. Strong H. 8130. Sloppy. All right. This is Genesis 24 and 60. All right. So you can look at Genesis 24 and 60. So looking at this precept, the question is, will you be able to see it, of course? Slide it in for just a moment. So, once again, you know what I'm saying, if you're looking at the stem and the root, you see it at the end of the precept, of course. Shana'ah. And it has the two prepositions at the end. Right? So we're reading this, of course. We have the prepositions here. We have the suffix here, right? Like we see barak, the barakah, right? Barakah, but we have these prepositions, suffix, stem. It's that three-letter character here. You can see it right here in the translation. It says "and," which is coming from the wa. You know what I'm saying? That's the "and," of course. The "they" or "them," which is a combination of the "ya" and the "wa." So in "they," that's strong H, 1288 for barak. But what we're here for is Shana'ah, which is to hate, and that's all the way here at the bottom, at the end, right? Shana'ah. See that wa, right, which is pertaining to them. So as we read this word, you get a combination of some of these words together. Shana'ah is H38, 8130. H31 or 8130, of course. So if we were to read that in Genesis chapter 24, verse 60, Waya Barak, Barakwa, Ah, Barakwa, Ah. Here we go again. We see the prepositions here, and we see the suffix. This word should stand out to you as well. Amara, right? We've gone over this word before. Matter of fact, in the last class we went over this precept, or we went over this word, which is to say, I believe, specifically. All right. Amar. Here we go. Laha. Laha. Akatna wa. Ath. Hayaya. La'ala. Haya. Rababa'a. It's like it. Rababaha. Wayaya. Wash. Ra'ash. Zara'ai. Ath. Sha'ai. Sha'aya. It's like Sha'ira. Sha'ira. And then we have the word that we came for this precept, which is Shana'a Yawah. Shana'a Yawah, which is specifically saying of those that hate them. All right? Of those that hate them. Of those which hate them. So, getting back into this, the Shah. Shana'a. Shana'a. Which is Little Wayne talks about how to love. The Most High talks about how to hate. He talks about what he hates and he does not like. Of course, it's like it. And that precept that we just read, of course, in the Hebrew, we just read, it's like it. It says, Genesis chapter 24, verse 60, it says, and they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, thou art our sister. Be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gates of those which hate them. All right? So, the seed of those who hate them. All right? So, there are those that hate us. You know what I'm saying? And the offspring, of course, of our children will go to possess those that hate us, those that seek to destroy us, of course. And that's where, you know what I'm saying, we have to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, though, because otherwise, how else is it going to happen, right? How else is the Most High, you know what I'm saying, going to come to our aid? Unless we be deserving. And we're not deserving, you know what I'm saying, when we do not keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So the Sabbath, that is a commandment. That is one of the commandments, of course, though. Strong H7725. Strong H7725. Last class, we actually went over this though. This was out of our Second Kings breakdown. As we were preparing, for the this is our Second Kings breakdown. This is Second Kings. One, 5, right? Oh, slightly out. Right, it's the wrong one. Who's Second Kings? 12:19. I wrote that instead of this one right here. So Second Kings 1 and 5, of course. We had several items out of here, so let's pull that up real quick. So here we go again. When we start off reading, of course, this is Second Kings. There we go. Strong H7725, which is the turn back. And it was said multiple times though. So 2 Kings 1 and 5. Lashawan wa Hamala'a. It's like a Hamala'a Kayam Ala Yahwa Waya Mar Ala Yaha. It's like a Hama. It's like a Ala Hayam Maha Sa'a Shabbat Shabbatha. Alright. And as we just hit this one word right here. Amar, right? And it says, and he said, that's what this is right here. And he, which is returning to the king, of course. So he's referring, the king is speaking to the messengers right here. It says, and he said, right? So if we were to click, boom, close it out. Unto him he said. So read it. Unto him he said. We see the root of what we're looking for, which is 87725, which is turn back. So when we read the precept in English, which is 2 Kings 1 and 5, and when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, all right, why are ye now turned back? Why are ye now turned back? So this right here is basically saying, and when the messengers So this right here makes in the messengers, which comes from Malak, messenger. So we find a stem, we read Hamala'ak, looks like Hamala'ak Yum, which makes it plural, which is messengers, instead of just one messenger. Hamala'ak Yum. So if we're practicing and doing this the way we're supposed to, we'll see, you know, you got the Shah. Yeah, I'm tripping. Shawab. That's the verb, of course, though, which is to turn back. So we just went over for the 100 most common verbs, of course, so you should be adding this stuff and writing these precepts down, right? So 2 Kings 1 and 5, you know, that's going into to turn back. It's an action, but we also went over this for the Sabbath, though, and we got several common verbs out of it, right? So amar, which is to say, which is strong H559. We pulled that from this same precept. It's like, I believe we said it from the same precept. So if we're practicing, we'll start to see commonalities and make it easier to identify, especially when we're going over, you know, the classes, of course, though. So make sure, you know, y'all write this down. Make sure y'all put in the precepts to go along with it, of course, though, for practice. So now you can practice, you know, practice, of course, though, so that when you see this, so now when you see this right here, when you see these right here, these prepositions that's at the start of the word, you start to realize, like, okay, the word, the root or the stem, this is the stem. So for the stem, you're like, all right, I know what wa means, which is and, you know, essentially. And then, of course, the ya, which is like he. So you can say and he, or even depends on, you know, if it's, I don't think that's necessarily, you know, the word, but and them, and they said, more or less, because that's the suffix that's added to the end, which, if I'm correct, that becomes and they said. They said. But we know this right here, which is the H559, the stem. You can break that down real quick. See the wa, we see the ya, boom. All right, I know those are prepositions. I'm a ra, so ma, which is to say, strong H559. It's practice. You identify it, you see it. Eventually, you know what I'm saying, you start to flow through these scriptures, of course, though. And once again, this is out of the same precept we were just in, 2 Kings. I think that was 5:1. It's locked. My bad. 2 Kings 1 and 5, not 5:1. 2 Kings 1, 5. So you can practice breaking this down, of course, getting the stem, preposition, prep. This is double prep. Right? That's what this is. Double preposition, you know what I'm saying, to this word. So now you know which person it's referring to. You know it's an action word. You know it's not singular. But it's all from practice, practice, practice. Of course, if you don't have the biblical Hebrew, if you don't have a biblical Hebrew, a textbook and workbook, you should definitely get it. That way, you know, you're able to practice on your own. You should also have the Hebrew to English dictionary. All right. So now you're able to follow along, ask questions. If you think something's not right, put your questions in the chat. You can go over, we can answer. All right. So I always want to do like a slight refresher, of course, though. We always do that with, you know, something like going over the alphabet. Gone over, you know what I'm saying, the prepositions several times. Gone over suffixes multiple times. So y'all should be moving along, right? You should be able to start to have, you know, some half conversation. Even when you see words that you're not so familiar with, all right? So you see this word, you should be able to identify it. The first thing we start with was doing what? Well, that's the Assyrian. So now we want to go from the Assyrian to the ancient, which is, that's the Shah. You know that's the Ma. Right? You know that's Ra. Shah Ma Ra. Or if you do it the way that we should, we see Shema. so I can bear with me for just a moment. So with the shamar, which is to keep or to watch, and it really depends on where you're using it. Of course, trying to all right. So we're gonna use this here, so we can see an example. So as we can see, shamar, shamara, shamar. So ye shall keep the watch, masharaf, shamar. Masharaf, which is to keep, and of course, Wayashamaraf, the watch. So keep the watch. All right. And those are strong H8104 and strong H4931. Definitely double check, you know what I'm saying, the general on the specific strongs that we should be using though, because it's sort of like interchangeable, you know what I'm saying, depending on how it's being phrased and strung along together, of course. Alright. So if anybody else, you know what I'm saying, has questions, you know, make sure y'all type them in, make sure y'all ask them, of course, though. We're going to keep, you know what I'm saying, plugging along. We're going to keep, you know, going over the Hebrew. That way, you know, we get stronger with it. And we take back our culture, of course, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we stop letting people dictate to us who we are, how we should be, how we should talk, how we should act. You understand? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know, this is us. This is who we are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw like a few more words on the board. Take this, you know what I'm saying, study it for next class. All right. Make sure y'all write these down for next class, of course. I want y'all to practice, you know what I'm saying, going over these to be able to use a couple precepts. We'll pull with them as well, too, though. But these are the words that we're going to go over for the next class. Just like it, make sure that, you know, I got it written down as well, too.
Oh, okay. All right.
Come on, kind of stop. Slightly turn the class over to Captain Lasagna. Right? All right.
Security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the leadership of Commander General Yohana. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi, chapter 3, 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives to you. The Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or to the teacher. Okay. There is a Bank of America, or I'm saying Bank of America because that's what I use. There is a Zelle also. Okay. All right. On which you can send in your tithes or donations that way. All right. Of course, the address, you can always still do that. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. All right, we got coming up this September, Monday, September 6th. Memorial blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month. Memorial blowing of trumpets. Leviticus chapter 23, 24 through 25. Okay, you can check the bulletin board. We have the bulletin board here. Also, we have a calendar of the high holy days. Okay, or you can ask the teacher in your local zone, the captain who's ever over that zone. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. Okay. With that, do one salute to the brothers. Imajum Shabbat, Imajum Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barak Thumb. Okay, we'll do a salute to the sisters, or the sisters. Imajum. All the sisters would stand at this time. All the brothers would face the sisters, turn and face the sisters. Imajum Shabbat.